She was supposed to just be an actress. That was the deal, right? You act, you promote the movie, you go home. But somewhere in the last few years, Sydney Sweeney stopped playing by that script. And if you've been paying attention, you already know this isn't really a story about lingerie at all. It's a story about control. Let's go back for a second. Every year, a handful of famous faces decide they want more than a paycheck from someone else's brand deal. They want equity. They want their name on the label, not just next to it. Most of them fail. Quietly. A perfume line here. A clothing collab there. Gone within 18 months. Barely remembered except as a footnote on a Wikipedia page. The graveyard of celebrity businesses is enormous, and almost nobody talks about it. Because nobody wants to talk about failure. They want to talk about Rihanna, about Fenty, about the handful of names that actually broke through and built something that outlived the headlines. So when word got out that Sweeney was starting her own intimates brand, the obvious question wasn't, what does it look like? The obvious question was, does she actually understand what she's walking into? Because here's the thing about the intimates and loungewear space in particular. It's brutal. It's one of the most saturated, most competitive corners of the entire fashion industry. You've got legacy giants with decades of manufacturing relationships and marketing budgets that dwarf anything a single celebrity could bring to the table. You've got scrappy direct-to-consumer startups burning cash trying to outmarket each other on the same 3 social platforms. And sitting right in the middle of all of his schemes, a brand built by someone who arguably understood personal brand as business strategy better than anyone alive, and who spent years proving just how hard it actually is to make that formula work, even with every advantage imaginable. That's the arena Sweeney chose to step into. Not adjacent to it. Not a licensing deal where she shows up for a few photos and cashes a check. She built the thing, or at least, she's positioned herself as having built the thing, under the name Syrn. And unlike a lot of celebrities who treat their brand like a side hustle they can quietly abandon if the numbers don't work, she made herself the face of every single campaign. That decision is the whole story, if you think about it for more than a few seconds. Because being the face of your own brand is a double-edged sword sharpened on both sides. On one hand, it's the cheapest, most effective marketing tool imaginable. You don't need a celebrity endorsement budget when you are the celebrity. Every post, every campaign video, every appearance does double duty. It sells the product, and it reinforces the brand identity in the same breath. There's no gap between the spokesperson and the founder, no awkward moment where fans wonder if she actually believes in what she's selling. She's already there. She's already famous. She's already got the attention. All she has to do is point it somewhere. But on the other hand, and this is the part most people don't think about until it's too late, when you're the brand, every misstep is personal. A bad review isn't just a bad review. It's a referendum on you. A slow quarter isn't just a slow quarter. It's proof to the internet's harshest critics that the whole thing was a vanity project from the start. There's no corporate buffer, no faceless executive team to absorb the blame. It's her name, her face, her reputation, all tied directly to whether recovery rompers and twist and shout raps actually sell. And this is where the tension really lives. Because the early results, the attention, the comments, the social buzz every time a new campaign video drops, that's the easy part. That's the part every celebrity brand gets in month 1, when curiosity alone drives the numbers. The real test comes later. It comes in month 6, month 12, month 24, when the novelty wears off and people either keep buying because the product is genuinely good, or they don't. Because it turns out a famous face on a package isn't the same thing as a face people trust with their money long term. So here's the question hanging over Syrn right now. The one nobody quite knows the answer to yet. Is this actually a business? Or is it a moment? Is Sweeney building something with the staying power of a Fenty? Something engineered from the ground up to survive past the press cycle? Or is this closer to the dozens of celebrity ventures that generate a few viral weeks and then quietly fade into remember-when territory? What makes her case genuinely interesting, though, isn't just the product. It's the timing. Sweeney isn't launching this brand at the peak of some single breakout moment and trying to cash in before the window closes. She's doing it while she's actively expanding across film, television, and producing, building out a career that doesn't rely on any one project to keep her relevant. That matters, because it means Syrn isn't a desperate grab for relevance before the spotlight moves on. It's an extension of a bigger strategy, one where she's positioning herself less as actress who also has a clothing line, and more as someone constructing a multi-pronged brand out of everything she touches. That's the model the smartest people in this space have figured out. You don't build one thing and hope it carries you forever. You build a portfolio: acting, producing, business ventures, each one reinforcing the others, each one giving you leverage the next time you sit across the table from a studio, an investor, a retail partner. The actress who also runs a real company gets treated differently than the actress who's just selling her name for a licensing fee. She gets a seat at different tables, and that's ultimately what's being tested every time one of these campaign videos goes up and the comments start flooding in. It's not really about whether people like what they see for 30 seconds on a screen. It's about whether Sweeney can convert that attention into something that survives without her constant presence propping it up. Whether Syrn can become a brand people buy into on its own merits, or whether it stays permanently tethered to her fame, rising and falling with every headline. Nobody knows the ending yet. The brand is young. The market is unforgiving. But if there's one thing worth paying attention to here, it's this. The actresses who quietly become businesswomen almost always look, in hindsight, like they were building toward it the entire time. And Sweeney, whether by instinct or design, is playing a much longer game than a single lingerie launch. The real story isn't what she's wearing in that video. It's what she's building behind it, one campaign at a time.